Have you ever stopped to consider how much power negative thoughts have over your life? Just ponder on that for a moment. These invisible, intangible entities that reside in the corners of our minds, how they hold such sway over our actions, our emotions, and our overall mental health. Imagine you're about to give a presentation. You've spent countless hours preparing, rehearsing, perfecting, but just as you're about to step on stage, a negative thought creeps in. What if I mess up? And suddenly your confidence wanes, your palms sweat, your heart races. This single negative thought has the power to turn a well-prepared presentation into a nerve-wracking ordeal, or consider a time when you're about to embark on a new venture. Maybe you're starting a new job, or moving to a new city, but then those negative thoughts start to creep in. What if I fail? What if I can't make it? These thoughts can prevent you from seizing opportunities, from stepping out of your comfort zone, from embracing change and growth. And let's not forget about our relationships. How many times have negative thoughts influenced our interactions with others? What if they don't like me? What if I say something wrong? These thoughts can cause us to build walls, to isolate ourselves, to miss out on meaningful connections. The impact of negative thoughts is far-reaching, often dictating not only our actions but also our emotional state and overall mental health. They can create a sense of fear, anxiety, and self-doubt, holding us back from reaching our full potential. But here's the thing. These thoughts, as powerful as they may seem, are not the ultimate arbiters of our lives. We often give them more power than they deserve, allowing them to dictate our actions, our emotions, our lives. But what if I told you there's a way to master these troublesome thoughts, a way that dates back to ancient philosophy? In the heart of ancient Greece and Rome, a philosophy was born known as Stoicism. This isn't a term to be thrown around lightly. Stoicism is a school of Hellenistic philosophy that flourished throughout Greece and the Roman Empire. Stoicism is a philosophy of personal ethics, informed by its system of logic and its views on the natural world. Let's delve into the core principles of Stoicism, shall we? Stoicism teaches the development of self-control and fortitude as a means of overcoming destructive emotions. It's about understanding what we can control and what we cannot. Stoics believed that we have control over our own thoughts, beliefs, and actions, but little else. Our emotions, they argued, come from our judgments, and these are within our control. Stoicism also underscores the importance of acceptance. Acceptance in Stoicism doesn't mean passive resignation, rather it's about acknowledging reality and working with it, rather than against it. It's about embracing whatever life throws at you with a calm and tranquil mind. Now you might wonder, why are we discussing an ancient philosophy in the 21st century? Well, despite its ancient roots, Stoicism remains incredibly relevant today. It offers practical advice for dealing with the stresses, challenges, and uncertainties of modern life. In a world where we are often driven by emotional impulses, Stoicism provides a refreshing alternative that values rationality and inner peace. Whether you're struggling with negative thoughts, facing a difficult decision, or dealing with loss, Stoicism offers a framework for navigating these challenges with grace and resilience. It's not about suppressing emotions, but rather understanding and managing them effectively. This timeless philosophy offers a powerful tool to combat negative thoughts. It reminds us that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we can control how we respond. And in this response lies our power and our freedom. So as we delve deeper into Stoicism, let's remember that it's not just a philosophy, it's a way of life, a path towards greater peace, resilience, and fulfillment. One of the key principles of Stoicism is understanding what is within our control and what isn't. Stoicism, a philosophy rooted in ancient Greece, has a simple yet profound message. Focus on what is within your control and let go of the rest. This principle is not just about external circumstances, but also about our inner thoughts and emotions. Imagine a scale. On one side, you have the things you can control, and on the other, the things you can't. The weight of worry and stress often tips the scale towards the things we can't control. We fret over the past, a time we can't change, or the future, a time we can't predict. We worry about others' opinions, something we can't dictate. We let these uncontrollable factors consume our thoughts and in turn our lives. Now let's shift our focus to the other side of the scale, the things we can control. We have complete dominion over our actions, our reactions, and most importantly, our thoughts. We can choose to replace negative thoughts with positive ones. We can choose to let go of the fear of judgment and be true to ourselves. We can choose to learn from the past instead of dwelling on it, and prepare for the future instead of fearing it. This Stoic principle is particularly relevant when dealing with negative thoughts. Negative thoughts are often rooted in worries about things beyond our control. But what if we instead focused on how we respond to these thoughts? What if we chose to accept them, understand them, and then let them go, focusing on positive thoughts instead? This shift in focus doesn't mean ignoring the negatives, rather it's about acknowledging them, understanding that they are beyond our control, and then focusing our energy on what we can control, our response. By understanding and applying this Stoic principle, we can gain a sense of calm and control amidst the chaos of life. We can learn to navigate through the storm of negative thoughts, not by trying to control the storm, but by controlling our vessel, our mind. By focusing on what we can control, we begin to free ourselves from the grip of negative thoughts. Another fundamental principle of Stoicism is acceptance. Acceptance, in the context of Stoicism, is about acknowledging the world as it is, not as we would like it to be. It's about understanding that our perceptions of reality are often distorted by our desires, fears, and prejudices. This distortion can lead to a great deal of suffering, and it is here where negative thoughts often take root. Imagine a garden, for instance, where you've planted a variety of seeds. Some of them sprout into beautiful flowers, while others grow into thorny bushes. Now you might wish that all your seeds had become flowers, but the reality is different. This is where acceptance comes into play. You acknowledge the existence of the thorny bushes, and instead of lamenting their presence, you learn to appreciate them for what they are. Similarly, in the garden of our minds, negative thoughts are like those thorny bushes. We might wish to only have positive thoughts, but that's not how our minds work. Negative thoughts will sprout, whether we like it or not. And just like with the thorny bushes, the key is not to try and uproot these thoughts, but to accept them. But what does it mean to accept negative thoughts? It doesn't mean to indulge in them or let them control us. Rather, it means acknowledging their presence without judgment. It's about understanding that thoughts, be they positive or negative, are a natural part of our human experience. They come and they go, much like the clouds in the sky. Acceptance is not a passive state, but an active process. It's about choosing to see reality clearly, without the distortions of our desires and fears. It's about realizing that negative thoughts are not the problem, but our resistance to them is. When we stop fighting our thoughts and start accepting them, we can begin to free ourselves from their grip. So, when negative thoughts arise, instead of trying to push them away, we can choose to accept them. We can acknowledge them, observe them, and let them pass. In doing so, we can find a sense of peace and equanimity, even amidst the storm of our thoughts. Acceptance, then, is another key to unlocking the chains of negative thinking. Now, you might be wondering, how can we apply these principles in our daily lives? Well, the beauty of Stoicism lies in its applicability. It's not just a philosophy to be read about, it's a way of life to be lived. Let's start with a few practical ways to implement Stoic principles. Firstly, mindfulness exercises. Being present in the moment, focusing on the here and now, is a cornerstone of Stoicism. We often find our minds wandering to past regrets or future worries, but remember, the past is unchangeable and the future is unpredictable. All we truly have control over is the present. By practicing mindfulness, we train our minds to focus on the present, to be in tune with our current emotions and thoughts, and to observe them without judgment. This can help us manage and reduce negative thoughts. Next, there's journaling. It's not just for teenagers with crushes. The Stoics were big on writing. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoics, kept a journal that is now known as the Meditations. Writing our thoughts and feelings can give us clarity, help us understand our emotions better, and even reveal patterns in our thinking. It's a way to have a conversation with ourselves, to question our negative thoughts, and to challenge them. Remember, our thoughts are not always facts. Lastly, let's talk about mental reframing. It's a technique that involves changing the way we perceive events or situations. The Stoics believed that we don't react to events themselves, but to our perceptions of them. For example, if it's raining, you could perceive it as a ruined day, or you could perceive it as a chance to stay in and read a good book. The rain is simply the rain. It's our perception that gives it meaning. By consciously reframing our perceptions, we can transform our reactions and consequently our emotions. But it's important to remember that implementing these practices is not a quick fix. It's a process. It takes time, patience, and consistency. You might not see a drastic change overnight, but if you stick with it over time, you'll find that your negative thoughts have less power over you. You'll find that you're more at peace with yourself and the world around you. You see, Stoicism is not just a philosophy, it's a toolkit for life. It provides us with practical tools to navigate our thoughts and emotions, to build resilience, to cultivate inner peace. And remember, the goal is not to eliminate negative thoughts entirely. That's not realistic or even healthy. We're human beings, not robots. We feel a range of emotions, and that's okay. The goal is to manage our negative thoughts, to not let them control us, to live a more balanced and fulfilling life. The path to a more positive mindset is not a destination, but a journey. Of course, implementing these principles won't always be easy. It's like learning a new language or picking up a new instrument. You won't become fluent overnight, nor will you play a symphony in a day. Embracing Stoicism and using it to combat negative thoughts is a journey, one that may be fraught with challenges. Firstly, it's important to acknowledge that you might face resistance, both from within and from the world around you. People may not comprehend your new approach to life, and your own mind might rebel against the unfamiliar. You might find yourself slipping back into old patterns of thought, succumbing again to the negative thoughts you're striving to remove. It's natural, it's human, and it's a part of the process. Secondly, you might feel overwhelmed. Stoicism is a philosophy that's been around for centuries, and it can feel like a lot to take in. You might question whether you're doing it right, whether you're truly understanding the principles, or whether it's even working. But here's the thing. The road to overcoming any obstacle is paved with patience and perseverance. It's about taking one step at a time, no matter how small. It's about picking yourself up when you stumble and carrying on. It's about understanding that success isn't linear and that it's perfectly okay to have bad days. What matters is your resilience, your determination to keep going. So when you face these challenges, remember why you started. Remember that you're doing this to regain control over your thoughts, to free yourself from the negativity that's been holding you back. And remember that it's okay to ask for help, to reach out to others who are on the same journey or those who have walked this path before. In the face of obstacles, keep your eyes on the prize. Remember that every challenge you overcome brings you one step closer to your goal. Every hurdle you clear, every mountain you climb makes you stronger, more resilient, and better equipped to face whatever life throws at you. Remember, every step, no matter how small, is progress. So, can we really master our negative thoughts? It's a question we've been pondering, and the answer is a resounding yes. It's not a walk in the park, mind you, but it's certainly achievable. Let's take a moment to recap what we've explored today. We started by acknowledging the profound impact of negative thoughts on our lives. These thoughts can hold us back, create stress, and even affect our physical health. But we also recognize that they are a part of the human experience. They're not inherently bad, but they can become problematic when they start to dominate our mental landscape. Enter Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has stood the test of time. Stoicism teaches us that we don't have control over everything that happens to us. We can't control the weather, the traffic, or other people's actions, but we do have control over our thoughts and our reactions. This principle forms the bedrock of Stoicism and is a powerful tool in managing negative thoughts. We also discussed the Stoic practice of acceptance. Rather than resisting the inevitable ups and downs of life, Stoicism encourages us to accept them as they are. This acceptance can help us to see our negative thoughts for what they are, just thoughts. They're not facts, and they're certainly not our destiny. Then we delved into how we can apply Stoicism in our daily lives. It's not about becoming emotionless or indifferent. It's about developing resilience, maintaining perspective, and focusing on what we can control. By doing so, we can reduce the hold that negative thoughts have over us. This journey won't always be easy. There will be obstacles along the way. But remember, overcoming these obstacles is part of the process. It's through these challenges that we grow and learn. The power to change your thoughts lies within you. And with Stoicism, you have a guide to help you along the way.